Hey everyone, Dwayne Cotton here. Today's video is covering the valve train on a 347. Old school 347, something 17-year-old hot rod. And so this engine has been trouble-free for a long time. So I want to show you. Today we are dealing with polylocks, rocker studs, rocker arms, and push rods. I'm going to try to get this thing unscrewed here. So polylock versus just a nut on top of a stud that holds the rocker arm down. This is how you adjust the valves. So you run, I'm trying to hold this so you can see it. So you run this, this nut down as you're adjusting your valves. Different ways, whether you have a solid lifter or hydraulic. In this case, we have hydraulic roller. And then once it's adjusted, you use the same wrench that you turn this nut with this polylock with, you hold it in place, and then you set this set screw down, you lock it into place. That locks the nut to the stud, and bingo, you are done. This is the rocker stud, and my other ones were breaking right in here, lower quarter of the threads. And here we have a roller rocker, so you can see that. Now, valve geometry is very important. When you're building an engine, if you ever have a problem from the get-go, right off the bat, it's sometimes hard. You're using measurements, feeler gauges, you're looking at all your parts and pieces, making sure it was supposed to work and you know, work properly anyway. When you have an engine that has hours on it or mileage on it, you have the luxury of seeing the unique wear patterns on the individual parts. And so what we discovered here, even though this is run for a very long time at high RPMs and over 17 years, we started having a pattern on top of the valve head, the stem, that was slightly off center. So now we know our geometry, our push rods, in this particular case, were not long enough, which is a shame because this engine produces a lot of horsepower the way it is, and we've got a lot of miles on it, had a lot of fun with it, but we could have had more horsepower and more fun with it. And then we hopefully wouldn't be breaking rocker studs. Now I won't tell you, it seems odd that when I went online and started looking, because this brought it up, and I said, what are everyone having? What's the problems that people are having with rocker studs? I saw a lot of comments about studs breaking on stock engine, aftermarket. Generally it was engines that had been rebuilt and hopped up. And you know what's funny? The majority was cylinder number 6. Okay, just so happens it was cylinder number 6 on my car. What's that? I don't know. I'm still working on it. What does it have anything to do with anything? I have no idea. So I just know cylinder number 6 is the one that had the issue on both studs. See, as I was replacing the stud, the broken stud, and adjusting that valve, as I went to the intake valve on that same cylinder, that's when that stud broke. Haven't broken anything anywhere else on the engine. Quite odd, going to look into it further. Maybe there's something there. Maybe it's just a coincidence and cylinder number 6 is just that, you know, that kid. So anyway, we'll try to do a time-lapse video and show you the polylock, rocker stud, rocker arm, and the push rods are back here. They're not that eventful, just little cylinders, you know, little sticks of metal. But they're actually very important. And we went with a different push rod, a thicker wall. It doesn't have the balls on the end. It's something that I think is going to last a lot longer. But I will tell you, this engine will be coming out in the near future to be replaced with a Ford crate fuel-injected engine. So this car can be driven as a daily driver if we want to, and take this old hot rod engine out to pasture. But for right now, I have to get it ready for a select few events, and I want to wind it up. And in order to do that, we need our valves to do their thing. So, hey, video done for now. Watch for the time lapse of adjusting the valves. See ya.